Hey everyone, Robert here with Mr. Texas Real Estate. Today we're going to talk about the things that we're seeing on the street. So, my partner Jason is doing some other things. Jason's a real good analytical guy, and he works on our markets. He's finding tons and tons of deals. It's my team that goes out and implements a lot of the strategies that Jason is putting together for us. And so I just want to kind of give you a little bit of taste and a little flavor of what's actually happening in the investment world on the street. So let's go over a couple of things that I put down. So first, and I've always said this, we have faults. Everyone has faults, right? But if there's anything that we're exceptional at, we are buying at the right price for everything. I think, of our 300 plus acquisitions, we've maybe had 3. We're talking about 1% really not hit the number that we needed to hit in the time frame that we said. Everything else has done as good or exceeded our expectations. So this is true in our syndications and in our funds where the equity is still all there. Now, there are other issues going on. We'll talk about that moving forward, but man, the equity is there, and the equity is killer in some of these projects. Just really, really phenomenal. So that leads to refis. And so let me explain the tenor, if you will, of the terms for refis. So on some of the stuff that we're going long on, the buy and hold stuff, we're seeing the refis are going to be only rate and terms. There's going to be no cash out. We're finding it very, very difficult to find guys who would do cash out at a decent LTV, or LTV means loan to value, right? And so a fair number for LTV, loan to value, is 75%, meaning the loan will be 75% of the value of the property. And that's always been a pretty standard rule of thumb. Hey, is it 75%? We'll ask. And most of the times they say yes. Now, when you're dealing with local banks, that number is, inherently been 65% because they do a thing called loan to value, loan to cost. And basically, they're going to be hard pressed to give more than 70%. I'm talking about local banks on investment properties. We're not talking about your home, right? That's different. That's an FHA-backed loan. We're talking about investment loans for investment properties. So, again, rule of thumb has always been about 75% LTV. These days, on a rate and term, 75% is there. If you're trying to do cash out, they're typically going to be around 65 to 68% loan to value, meaning they're going to give you less of a loan, right, versus the value of the property if you're planning on taking cash out. They will, obviously, the underwriters and the end purchaser of that note feels more comfortable if you're going to leave your money in there and just get a rate and term. So, hey, you've got your money in there, you've got the hard money lender money in there, and we're going to take this whole thing out at 75%. We're good. 73%, 72%. In some of our cases, our loan to value with just the rate and term is sub 65% LTV. Like I said, we buy very well. So that's one. We're seeing below 70% loan to value in a lot of scenarios. In some scenarios, we're seeing 80% loan to value, but very rarely. The other condition that they're asking us to meet a lot is going to be, is it rented? Once upon a time, if you had a quad and you had 3 of them rented and 1 vacant, no problem, the loan goes through, right? Or, hey, I just bought it, it's not rented, or I'm buying it, it's not rented. Can you give me a rent appraisal and then give me the numbers off the rent appraisal? That now has gotten much, much lower. The appraisers are coming back with very, very, very low rental numbers. And to the point where we're refusing the loan, we rent it and then show them the actuals and then make them do the refi based on the actuals. So that's where we're at now. If I'm doing the big game hunting where I'm buying a property that's distressed, that needs rehab, that needs to then get rented and then refied, I am making sure that I have 100% of the units rented before I can go for the refi. Otherwise, the terms of the loan are, let's face it, they're garbage, right? And this is from all these guys out there that do these brokering these papers. See, if you haven't figured it out, a lot of the hard money guys, they've got long-term financing, and their long-term financing is what we call being table funded. So they're writing up and processing all the paperwork because that's what they're good at. And then they're putting it out there, and then whatever someone's already has the appetite to buy, that's what they're buying it at. So the interest rates now are going to be between 7.5% and 9%. And you're going to be looking more of the time, you'll be looking over 8%. We can live with all that because we typically took a 12% hard money loan. What the other side of it that we're concerned about is the terms. So if it's not rented, we're getting this garbage number on the rental number, right? Well, we think it's only going to rent for $1,000. We're like, no, it's $1,250. Well, we're only comfortable lending it to you is as if it was rented at $1,000. So we wait 30 days, we get to rent it for $1,276 and then go back. So if you're doing refis, depending on who you're working with, I would tell you straight up, make sure it's rented, right? I think that time where you could go off a fair rental appraisal and get a refi is long gone. And so nowadays you actually have to make sure it's rented. So we're seeing a lot of that. Again, no cash out, rate and term, 1 year interest, 1 year insurance paid, 1 year taxes. So they're going to, roll that into the rate and term. That's always sort of what they do. So what we're seeing now is these prepayment penalties, right? And so here's what you have to understand. We're getting a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 prepayment penalty, meaning in year one, you're going to pay 5 points if you try and refi. So if it's a $100,000 loan or mortgage, you're going to pay $5,000 penalty if you're refi in year two. If you're trying to refi in year two, they're going to hit you up with 4 points or $4,000 on that hypothetical $100,000 mortgage. In year three, it's 3, right? In year 4, it's 2, and in year 5, it's 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When we hear people talking about it and throwing that out, that's what that means. So that's what your mortgages are going to look like right now. Very tough to refi. You're going to have a really, really hard time getting anything close to a legitimate refi if you don't have at least a 720, even a 740 FICO. So that's where we are with that stuff. Now, that is pushing a lot of people out of the market. Clearly, if you are broke and you have horrible FICO and no cash and no income, you're not going to get your rehab refied out if it's not rented. So this is pushing a lot of people out. We're seeing a lot of defaults coming back to us. I'll just tell you, for a hard money lender in Houston or Corpus, we would love to get a list of any ones that you're going to take back. We have bought 9 properties from hard money lenders in the last 12 months. If you're a hard money lender and it's falling out, we'd love to take a look at it. If it's a good buy and hold, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, in a decent area, we're happy to take a look at that. And so we're seeing some of that. So people are obviously losing, and they're losing the deals, and things are going under. You don't hear a lot of people on Instagram talking about that, but we know it's happening. And so people are just out of the market and staying out of the market. And what that means for us is, hey, we're in a really, really good situation to pick up the things out there that nobody is interested in. So we are finding flips. Currently, we have 3 flips going on. And I'll give you the rough numbers on them. We bought one for $392. We're putting in $60,000. We think it'll sell for $600, right? So $450 in the $600. We bought another one for $100. We're putting in $127. So we're all in for $227. We think we're going to sell it for $350. We have another one where we're all in for about $220, and we think we'll sell close to $400. So there's good numbers. These are all going to be retail buys. They're all single families. But we're finding them. We found another one, and we're going to try and negotiate that down. Right now, it's at a 76% ARV. We're going to try and get it under 75. We're trying to get it at 73 or 72. And flips are working. Now, there's just a lot less rehabs going on the street. We're not seeing a lot of that. There's a lot of folks that are not doing it. And so we weren't doing it, but now we are because, hey, guess what? There's opportunity out here. So we're trying to do 2 flips a month. We were able to pick up some good flip crews These are guys who are not doing the B- work. These are guys doing A-level work. So I did a lot of Facebook Lives yesterday, and I got one comment from someone that said, "Hey, man, aren't you supposed to be working on this other house?" And I'm like, different crew. We don't want to have these guys dressed down, right? We want them to stay at the peak of what they're doing. They're delivering A-level properties. So I would never take an A-level crew and put them on a Section 8 apartment, right? Even though our Section 8 apartments look really, really well. So that's also on the street. And then the last thing I'll tell you, I'm doing the update from the street.
Oh, are you? Okay. Like man in the street.
Man in the street. Yeah. The man on the street, right? It's always the Sesame Street guy, right? With the guy. The code enforcement divisions are out in force.
Yeah. I got that ridiculous letter. I'm like, how did you even get to that?
Oh my God. So I need to put, government officials stay off my property sign, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like this guy went all the way in the back and found an old shed and said that shed must be secured. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I will keep the possums and the cats out. Got it.
Yeah, got it.
So they're out there. We've pulled permits now on everything. The engineers are slow, but they're coming back to the marketplace. We found two guys. So if you don't know about our world that we do, the engineers and architects that we work with are moonlighters. So if you don't know what moonlighting is, these are guys that have a professional stamp that will work nights and weekends on side jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the guys that can bring it in at a reasonable number. Like an engineer should be $600 to $1,200. Architect plans $800 to $1,400 if it's just the sort of renovation stuff that we're doing. Obviously, if it's a big house and we're going to do ground up, there's going to be a lot more in that package.
Like our high-end guys, like $3 to $5 a foot doing new construction.
Yeah, that's high-end, right? Yeah. The stuff we're doing with the moonlighters, just to get a permit, pretty simple out there. So, but boy, we are seeing a lot of tags out there. So that's it. They are, if I'll review. One, if we did anything right here in the last 3 years, we bought right. We are seeing massive equity upside in all our properties, including our funds and syndications. I think there's been 3, Jason, of the 300 that we bought that didn't pop the number that we thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of people give back deals to hard money lenders. We think we've picked up about 12 so far. If you're a hard money lender, please send them over. We'd love to take
private lender, and you're ready. Or
private lender, and you're ready to foreclose. Please send them over.
Jason at mrtxre.com. Yeah, send them to me.
Because there's a lot less people doing real estate investing, flips are available for us. We're trying to do 2 a month, so that's exciting for us. We're picking up crews at a decent rate, real good flip crews. And then be aware, the city's out there. If your grass is more than 6 inches high, expect a little yellow tag. So that's the stuff that we got going on here. That's what we've been doing, and we're really excited about it. Anything on your end, Jason, that you're seeing?
Well, there are more deals than we can buy.
For sure.
And with the Portfolio Builders Club up and running, we got our first 3 members this month. And the Mastermind, I don't know how many we closed this month. It's a bunch.
Yep.
Next month, we're going to close 6 or 8.
Soon to go to LA.
Soon, yeah.
LA the floodgates will open.
Yeah, floodgates open for the folks in LA.
Let me just say this to you. If you are in Houston or Texas, and you've been thinking about building a rental portfolio to retire early or retire well, you have got to get in line now, right? So you're going to go to just text the word portfolio at 281-401-9008. That's the word portfolio at 281-401-9008. That means you want to build a rental portfolio. We'll get in touch with you. We'll invite you to the 2-day and we'll get you going. Because we're about to open the floodgates with California. COVID's over. We can travel freely. We can meet freely, even in the bluest of the blue states, right?
And if not, then we're going to stop in Vegas anyway. In fact, I'm going to be in LA end of the month.
Yeah.
In fact, that was the webinar I was upstairs doing real quick. They needed me to do a little pitch video. Looks like I'm speaking, might be a little after lunch on Friday.
Fun.
And then I've got the VIP thing that night. So I may just spend the weekend in LA. We'll see.
Are you gonna get business cards before you go out or not?
I don't know.
I'll just
text. Yeah.
Right there,
Look, man, here's
281-401-9008. Yeah.
Like
passive,
here's my QR code, buddy.
Yeah.
But it'll be a lot of fun. I haven't hung out with some of these guys in a couple of years. But I've got we got a handful that have closed this month, a half dozen or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got a 12 house package coming right after.
Yeah, 12 houses, Portfolio Builders Club for sure. Yeah.
And then a bunch more. I just got sent a flip, but it'd be a good long-term rental with a lot of
We'll put that out to the PBC, I think.
That's what I did. I sent a text that sent it out to the Mastermind, the Portfolio Builders Club.
Yep.
So, that's kind of what we're doing. We're just buying property over here.
That's what we're doing. And then we plan on going to California. We'll be there August 1st. We'll be at the Prosperity Through Real Estate Room in LA. And then on that Saturday, we'll be over at one of the hotels by the airport doing a whole day Saturday. I think it's like $49 or $69. So we invite you out to that. And we're coming back in September to do our well-refined 2-day event.
Yeah.
Right? We've been doing it here for a couple of years now. We're ready to take the show on the road. We want you to come out, and we'll be opening up the Texas Real Estate Mastermind to folks in California and across the country this fall. So make sure you are following us.
100 members per market.
100 members per market. We think we got more than enough deals coming out. We did a little preview to some of the people from folks from Colorado, from Illinois, from California came out at our mastermind, and we changed some mindsets, right? They're not going to be going door knocking and hanging
all that nonsense,
door hangers, right? Or just go, here we go.
Well, and I found 2 buildings in Vegas, downtown Vegas, with plenty of parking too. One's actually on Main, which I thought was kind of cool. But we're if we're going to set up that operation there on the West Coast, definitely going to be in Southern California and Vegas. Yeah. And I'd love to have a little residence there in Vegas. I'm looking in the arts district right now. I'm like, I like that one. So, it's going to make a lot of sense. Just be right down the street.
Again, I like we said, hey, there are some difficulties. There are some difficulties doing refis, right? For sure. But at this point, man, we survived COVID. We've got millions of dollars in equity. We'll survive the refi process. And we're not waiting any longer, right? We're going to go to California. We're going to go to Vegas. We're going to go to these other cities, it looks like Colorado, and get these things started. And on the other side of it, they're going to be, the next Corpus Christi is out there. And we'll find it, and we'll put the boots on the ground, and we'll get that whole thing going. So, listen, if you're about building your portfolio, this is the time. Because the other guys that were running around for the low-hanging fruit and didn't have a network or didn't have good financial backgrounds, they're out of the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're out of the game. So there's a lot of deals out there. Like I said, you have 12 more coming, got the flip coming. We just put 2 that will be retail pretty soon, put them out to the mastermind first, and those all look good numbers. I think that rehab came out fantastic on that property. So, yeah.
You think it's going to be below the number? You think it'll come in below budget? We had $60K budget on it. You think it'll come in below budget?
We're kind of right at.
You think so?
Yeah, okay. Right at. Yep. So we're running with this stuff. What else you got?
That's it. I was about to text you and Kate to make sure. You got time tomorrow for, we need to do a marketing meeting. Is Chucky here?
He is not. He's working with his church this week.
Okay. All right.
But he can dial in.
Okay. Yeah, we got to start. Well, we'll just wait till he gets in, but we got to start really kind of dialing up the marketing machine. But yeah, right now it's just looking at deals, going through deals and running numbers, and the numbers are looking fantastic. So if rates drop, like we think they're going to drop here by the end of the year, at least next year.
I'll tell you one thing. We cannot go into a presidential election at 7, 8, 9% interest, right?
Well, here's the problem. So real estate is 20% of this country's GDP.
Yeah.
So when real estate slows down, GDP numbers drop. Who is it? I can't remember who told me this weekend. Survive till 25.
Yes.
That's kind of the mantra. We had we took some investor meetings today with these syndications, these real estate syndications for apartments that are just being slayed right now. In fact, I just got an email from Catherine. She said, hey, basically all the multifamily stuff, the insurance is up 70%, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So that's what inflation looks like.
Yeah. And then, but for us in the real estate world, especially small apartments, that rent is a trailing 12 to 18 months before we can up it, right?
It depends on what the market's doing. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, you can raise rents as long as there's
the market's moving
demand.
that way. Yeah. And typically that market is going to be at least 12 months behind what's happened right now.
So this is what Mike Simonson is saying over at Altos Research. He said, look, we are going to go negative on inventory year over year, which is absolutely insane. And he said, when you see inventory numbers like this, you can predict pretty safely that there's going to be significant price increases over the next 12 months. So for those of you who do our 10 house strategy, this is going to be great for you. You're going to buy 10 houses. You're going to wait a year or two. You're going to sell half and pay the other half off. And you're going to have some free and clear real estate, which is going to be great.
Which is what we're going to do in our syndications, right? And our funds, right? Our funds it should be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just got to survive through 25, right?
Yeah, survive to 25.
Whoever came
I don't
up
know who said that.
That's
maybe
good one. So,
maybe it was Robert or somebody said it.
Somebody said it. It's all good. It might have been Pulsifer.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So, our recommendation, buy houses. Our recommendations during COVID, buy houses. Our recommendation when the money was at 3.5%, buy houses.
Our recommendation right now?
Buy houses.
Buy houses. It's oh, Jason, is there you cannot time the marketplace.
Right.
But it's not, I think Jeff said it this weekend, right? It's not timing the marketplace, it's time in the marketplace.
Yeah, that's
which is totally true. Like it's time in. You got to start putting your time in, meaning you got to own stuff.
I mean, we sold those, 6 duplexes down there?
Yeah.
Less than 2 years ago. And then one just sold at $60,000 to $70,000 more than we sold it for.
Yeah.
So our investors who bought that in our mastermind have all made $70,000
in a year.
In less than 2 years. Yeah. 14, 15 months.
Absolutely insane.
Buy houses, guys. And text us at 281-401-9008. 281-401-9008. Text the word passive if you want to do some loans or work in our funds and syndications so we can build a relationship. Text the word portfolio if you're ready to start buying properties and build out your portfolio. We've got a great 2-day class coming up, and we have the mastermind. All right, guys. I think that's it. Thanks.
All right, thanks.